Okay, I just decided to, for some reason, I just decided to uh, make my first video for my main gear. And this is the bulk of my gear. And I have a lot of other pieces to this gear. But this is the course of 2012 when I first started collecting my gear. And I do have to say that for the amount of jobs that I did, it really paid for itself. It was a big investment, and I would say that through the course of the year, I did several gigs that, again, it paid for my gear. So this is the lineup that I have. Now, I'm a Nikon guy, if you can see. I just fell in love with my first camera, which is a Nikon D70. I believe D70. I forgot if it was a D70S or D70. And I just love the controls and so forth. And the cool thing about Nikon, they kept the controls pretty much similar with all the D series or the D Pro series. So the D70 was a pro level camera, and my first camera was this camera, and it is a D7000. And then I later upgraded that to another D7000 series, which was called the D71, which is this guy over here. Now, I have the battery grip, so it looks like a D1, D2, D3 series, and it's a beast. And I'm one of the few that like my cameras bulky, and to me it just makes me feel like a photographer. I know cameras, and especially mirrorless, is getting tinier and tinier, and to me I like that big grip, and I like the feel of a big camera, and it just means serious business to me. So my flagship and my, I guess, my superior or the best body that I have is this. This is one of my babies, which is a D800. And when this came out, it was a big splash in the photography world. One of the flagship full frame cameras. So it's an FX camera, and let's see if it has FX on there. There it is, FX. You get to focus here. I'm doing this on the phone, so bear with me. And again, this D800, I have it on a battery grip. But you can see the size difference between the D7100 and the D800. And this flash, to me, was incredible. And I'm a strong believer with third party. To me, it's just because saving money. And this guy is called I can focus in there, a Newer. And I'm a big Newer fan. This one, to me, I have a friend that had a SB800, and this flash blew it away. It was more powerful. It had a bigger burst. Maybe it was his settings, but it was a lot more powerful. And the work and the samples I got with the flash was phenomenal. I have two flashes because just for the fact that if I shoot a wedding, I want flashes on both cameras. And during the weddings, I would use all of my bodies. And for some of you that know about weddings, it's just too time consuming switching from lens to lens. I also do sports shooting, and this is my go-to, I guess, my go-to baby. This beast is it's a 150 to 600 mil. I get incredibly close-up shots. I've shot soccer events with this guy, and it's phenomenal. It's like I'm right up in front of them. and I'll show you some of my soccer events that I shot with this. And you know, I feel kind of bad because I'm out there, and all of the other photographers, just wish they had that reach. And when you're at a sporting events, this is a needed tool. I mean, you can get like this guy over here, which is a 70 to 200 mil. So these both camera lens are Tamron. So again, like I said, I'm a strong believer of third party, just for the fact that the equivalent of this guy, if I would get Nikon, we're talking, I would say maybe an 800 millimeter lens, maybe almost equivalent to this, not quite, but you know, that's running about 17,000, depending on when you get it. This one, when I got it, was about 1,100, and I believe now, since this lens is old, it's even cheaper. They have another version called the G2 version, and it's a it's, what do you call it? It's a improvement lens. I think that's a 95 millimeter filter thread, so it's a pretty big beast. And this is my 200 millimeter. That's a 70 to 200 millimeter. If I believe I got this only for 700. And again, if I got the equivalent for a Nikon, we're looking well into almost $2,000. So, and it puts out the same quality to me. I mean, yeah, you have hundreds of reviews, and they'll claim, yeah, the Nikon version is tack sharp. But you know, for a regular, how do you call it? The average consumer or the average person is not going to really critique their photos. This is pretty incredible sharpness. And again, I'll show you some images that I shot with this. Probably break into another video, but I'll show you basically some samples I got with this, and it's a great portrait lens. This to me is phenomenal. This is another third-party lens, and this one here, if I could, there you go. It's a Sigma. This one here is a Sigma, and this one is incredible because if I can turn it around here, I'll show it instead of explain it. Okay, it's not going to show it there. It's not going to show it there, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Some of you will know, you'll see it right there, boom. It's a 50 millimeter and it's a 1.4. Everything that you point and shoot at 1.4 is going to be mouth-watering bokeh. There's one guy that I remember, his name is Kai. He's on Digital Rev. He used to wear a t-shirt called Bogalicious, and I said that's all about me. That's what everybody just drops their mouth when they see an image or a portrait, and you got that bokeh, you got that blurriness in the background, and you get that text sharp in the front subject, and that's what everybody wants. They want that portrait image with the blurriness background, which is called bokeh for some of you guys that are not familiar with that term. And again, this is Sigma. Now this is going to be interesting to some of you guys. I have fitted a Nikon hood, and this hood is the hood for a 2470, and it actually fits on the Sigma. So if I can take it off here with one hand while I'm filming, you'll see the lens, and it's a big lens compared to some of the 50s millimeter. So if I match this up with a regular 50, if I can grab that out of my bag right now, and this is Nikon's 50 millimeter. Oh, it's not on me, but it's this is pretty much the same size as what their 50 looks like. So you can see the difference. It's a small, it's a big difference because it's a 1.4, and the 50 millimeter for Nikon, it's a 1.8, I believe. And the diameter is big because it just takes so much light in. Okay, next that I have lined up for my camera gear is actually I'm switch to my go-to. So weddings is my 200 mil. My 600 mil is my sports photography lens. This one here, I use it pretty much for everything, but for weddings, I use this a great deal. In some cases, I could use this even, how do you say that, even 90% of my shots. This is a Tokina, and this one here is a, I can turn it around to show the diameter. It's 11 millimeter to 16, and the wide angle images I get are incredible. I've always wanted a super wide, and when I saw the video, I saw several videos, thank goodness to YouTube videos, I was sold. And I'm going to show you some of the pictures that are shot with this lens. It's incredible. I don't know if I would call myself a seasoned photographer, but I just go off of my learning curve, just off of what I've seen on YouTube, and I mimic their techniques, and it's, you know, it works. But again, this is my go-to lens. I just recently picked up this lens, and I'm so ecstatic. This is also a third-party lens, and this is made by Tokina. My big dream lens that I've been wanting for such a long time, I still have not took the plunge to get it because the price is roughly $2,000. So this one here is a 28 millimeter to a 70. So if you can notice the lens, it's a V shape. So this lens is a fixed 2.8. So what's nice about it is when you zoom on this lens, it will stay at 2.8. And the equivalent for a Nikon, which is actually a 24 to 70, is roughly about 1700. And this one I got used for 139. And I'm ecstatic because this is your lineup on your wedding. You need at least a fixed 50 millimeter or even an 85 millimeter. That's my next lineup. You need a wide angle, and then you need a 200 millimeter for portraits. Now my other go-to lens, believe it or not, I never realized that this guy is such a go-to lens. It's a powerful, to me it's a powerful lens. I'm going to show you some images what I shot with this. This is actually a old school Nikon lens. It's autofocus, and this one is a fixed 35 millimeter, and it's an f2. So I'll show you some images, and I'm telling you, for group images, for group shots, this is what I use, believe it or not. I don't use the 24 to 70 because this aperture is a faster lens. It's an f2. The 24 to 70, I just picked it up. I hadn't really used it that much. I just got it like a week ago. But this is, to me, is my go-to lens. When they say prime lens, I'm always wondering why they called it prime. and it almost feels like sounds like it's a more higher quality lens. But this is a fixed lens, and the images you get with a prime or fixed lens is incredible. But I use this for a lot of group shots. So if you have a wedding party and you need to get the whole group, this is what I use. So anyhow, this is my equipment. Just wanted to show you what I shoot with, and again, thanks for watching. And again, I ask you guys to just please hit that like button and click on that subscribe button to see more videos like this. Thanks again.